welcome. This is Mathing 101 by Jarvis. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do the continuation of what we did last time. We talked about groups. At the same time we talk about equations. So please check the video for equation, and which you can see it on the screen, and also can you check also other videos which I have explained about variables. So today we're gonna do a little bit of an example. This is the word problems example. So the word problems means that you have a set of words or sentences which describe the question. So from these sentences, you can come out with the equation which can be used to solve to get a value of a variable, or can just be the expression. So it depends on which word problem it is. So the first question is an air conditioner uses 133 watts for 6 hours. How many kilowatts does it use? So we have an air condition which is what is the SI unit of power. So we have power, P is equals to 130 watts. And then we have hours, which is time, which is 6 hours. So we are told to find the kilowatt per hours. So this question requires us, so if you remember the first video, I told you that mathematics can help you to solve a lot of questions. You can solve questions in physics, chemistry, geography, sometimes science or biology. So it depends on what. If you are doing this so one day you can become an engineer, just know that mathematics is your best friend. You have to know mathematics. And mathematics, sometimes people think like it's so hard to tackle, but I'll tell you that mathematics is easy. It's according to how you vision your mind. How is your mind looking like? How do you envision this subject? If you envision this subject to be hard, then I tell you, as how many exercise you try to do, you will not succeed. But if you vision that this subject is easy to tackle, then you will solve it. I remember my young brother, we tried as much, me and my father, to explain to him that mathematics is easy, but in his mind he already had this mindset that mathematics is hard. So whatever he comes out with, his result is always becomes like so not easy for him to tackle. But other subjects became easy. But for him, if I think the first year of secondary school was so hard for him, so it didn't look for him that in the future that mathematics is gonna be easy. But for me, it's not like you won't have challenges. Challenges will be there, but how are you seeing the subject determines how it becomes for you. I was so determined in my early years when I was in secondary school and high school. I was so determined that mathematics for me can never be hard. I can solve anything. So if somebody gives me a question and I do not know how to solve it, I'll go and research for it. That's like you cannot just do this as if you can solve do mathematics as if you are doing something else. Every subject needs research. Every subject needs you to put on work. So if you're putting on work on other subjects like English, biology, I don't know, chemistry and physics, make sure that mathematics you also put on work. You don't have to say mathematics is hard when you're not putting on work. How do you put on work? You have to solve the questions, understand the logic, and practice as much as you can. That's how mathematics becomes easier for you. So, sorry, I was talking a lot because I think it's so important for people to understand this. Okay, so you're given this question. This is a physics questions. It's a physics or science. I don't know how in your country is called, but this is something which deals with power, deals with hours, time. So you need to know the formulas. But here you already given this kilowatt per hour. So it means kilowatt is gonna be, sorry, kilowatt is gonna be on top per hour. So you don't need rocket science to solve this question, okay? So let's make what is kilowatts per hour is. Let's just say this is equals to um, kh because it's kilowatts per hour. So we're gonna say this is equals to kh. So um, you already know that this power is in watts. So you have to change it to be in kilowatts. So it means maybe 1 kilowatt, not maybe, this is how it is. How 1 kilowatt is equals to 1,000 watts. Okay, yeah, 1 kilo is equals to 1,000 watts. It's like 1 kilogram is equals to 1,000 grams. 1 kilometer is equals to 1,000 meters. Please check the worksheet. I've given you the um the measurement table of measurements. Check on it and see how you can convert from one unit of measurement to another unit of measurement. They are there. So um 1 kilowatt is equal to 1,000 watts. So what we're doing here, we are going to say that 1 kilowatt, I'm just let me just use here, 1 kilowatt is equal to 1,000 watts. So you want have 1,030 watts is equal to how many? Okay, so you are going to cause reference. So it's 130, sorry, watts. Don't forget the SI units. You have to have a SI unit so you don't do some silly mistakes, you know. Some people forget the units. If you forget the units, you will not know what you are doing. So here, the watts and watts will cancel itself. Why? Because it's the same. When you have something x over x, this is equals to 1. It's just basics. Okay? So watt and watt will cancel itself, so kilowatt remains. And remember that, so I'm just going to divide this. 133 kilowatts. I'm just gonna do the shorter form, 1,000. You can either just, do the division. So in my head, it will be 1.33 kilowatt. So this is the kilowatt we're going to for. But since we do not have the calculator, I'm just gonna leave it the way it is so people cannot mistake. So when I'm solving this, I have kilowatts per hour. So it's 1,330 over 1,000 times 1 over 6 hours. So the answer is gonna be 1,330 kilowatts over 6,000 per hour. So this is our answer. So you can go further by doing the division and you'll get some values. So you're gonna get 0.22 kilowatt per hour. That's per hour. If you do the division by using a calculator for you to be easier. But you can leave it like this because they didn't tell us, the question didn't tell us you can give the decimal or put it in a fraction. There's no such instruction. So if you don't have such instruction, you don't need to force yourself. If you do not have a calculator, the teacher will literally know that this is the answer. Okay, the next question, we are going to talk about the how to translate the phrase into variable expression. So for the first example, we have 3 less than 3 is less than half of x. So this is so here you see that there is number 3 which is less than the negative, as I told you the first example. Then half is 1/2 of x, so 3 less than 1/2 of x. Okay, the second one is say the half the difference between x and 3. It means that when you have, so the first thing you have to check, what does it mean difference between? So difference between is between like two numbers, there is a minus between them, minus sign. So it means that there's a minus sign means multiplication. Okay, so half the difference means this difference between two numbers, it is halved. So in this question, the answer will be 1/2 x minus 3. So there's a difference and also it is halved. So this is the variable expression for this question. So question number 3, it says find the area and the perimeter of a rectangle with the length of 10 meters and the width of W. So we already know that the rectangle looks like this. The rectangle looks like this. The width, this is the width, this is the length. So, and the length of this question is equal to 10 while the width is W. So area of the triangle is equal to L times W, which is 10 times W, which is 10W. So this is the area, this is the perimeter.